you ready for me, Kimbali? He was ready to put it on her African style. Hey my beautiful peeps, if you're new here, my name is Char and welcome to Char TV. For my existing subscribers, thanks for coming on back. In today's video, I'm gonna be doing a detailed recap on episode 10 of Before the 90 Days. It's called Time's Up. I tried to give you as much detail as I can, so it's kind of like a story, but I do stick to the couples that I think are the juiciest. Before I dive into the recap, I just want to give a quick shout out to Lori Paris. Thank you so much for your lovely comment. I'll be starting with Mike and Ximena. Mike has been back home for about 2 months now and has been really focusing on being tidy and organized because he's doing it as he knows that it means a lot to Ximena. He's been hanging out with friends but is finding it really hard being away from Ximena. The long distance is posing as quite a challenge because he misses her. He's even spoken to a lawyer to talk about the visa process because he's been making plans with Ximena for the wedding as they're to get married in Colombia the following month. Mike has noticed that things have changed a little bit between him and Ximena, so because he can work remotely, he's planned a trip to Colombia in hopes of reconnecting. He explains to his father and grandfather his reasons as to why he's going back to Colombia, and he has a few more things to say.
Ximena was mentioning on the chats that she wants to get some kind of plastic surgery. She wants to, I guess, like lipo to get skinnier, and she wants some augmentation for her breast. Really? Yeah. I told her that she looks fine the way she is, but she's like adamant about getting it. And she's like trying to ask me to pay for it and all that.
Grandpa was like, that's not your responsibility to take care of her because you have enough responsibilities for yourself. His father asked him if he's still sending money to Ximena, and Mike said that, yeah, he's still helping her with half of the rent, which his father said he needs to stop that. Mike's father just thinks that Ximena is using him. And a lot of people online think the same way. Mike is hoping that things are going to work out between him and Ximena despite their concerns. He's hoping that they'll be able to work out the kinks in their relationship when he goes back and that things can get back on track like they were the first trip. After 12 hours of traveling, Mike has finally landed in Colombia. He's a bit nervous though because Ximena has been acting differently. She didn't even show up at the airport this time like she did the last time. It made him feel that something is wrong, and he hopes that them spending time in person will get them reconnected.
¿Está aquí? Hola, amor. Hola. ¿Cómo te fue? Bien. ¿Qué tal el viaje?
Bien.
Hola, Mike.
Hola, Eleni.
¿Cómo le fue?
Bien.
Bien.
Gracias.
Me alegra, ok.
Ximena said that this trip is different from the first one because the first one, she was super in love and excited to meet him. Really? Because I didn't feel no love from her. Did you? But since Mike left Colombia the first time, she's been thinking to herself a lot that he's a really clingy person. And she's the type of person that likes her space.
Hola. Hola. Uf, huele como a popón. Mira tus zapatos a ver.
¿Sí?
Por debajo, sí, huele a popón.
Sí, mira. I'm sorry. I'll make sure to buy you a new rug.
Ahora subes al lavadero con un cepillo por debajo.
Mikey, that is strike one. Ximena asked Mike how he's doing and how his trip was. He fills her in on that and explains to her that he came back to spend time with her and the kids and to get to know her family better. Ximena said to Mike, well, you already know my family. And she insisted that he wasn't to come this month for a visit. And Mike looked a little bit confused because he had discussed that with her.
Tú me dijiste ya cuando estaba a punto de venir y tú te había dicho que no vinieras hasta que yo no me operara. Se aferró que él quería venir y que quería venir. Yo quiero un aumento de senos y remarcación de abdomen. Puedo hacer como trabajar como modelo y puedo tener como más oportunidades.
Ximena had told Mike, but he didn't want to give her the money for her surgery. So what did she do? She borrowed the money from a loan shark. And she was about to get her surgery in a few days, but because Mike arrived, she couldn't get her surgery done. She was a bit annoyed, but now that he's here, she's hoping that they can get the spark back. Y'all, I don't know about you, but she didn't look too happy to see him. In fact, she looked disgusted, as always. Like, am I seeing things here, or are you seeing the same as well? Now, the next morning, Mike is downstairs working away because he can work remotely, and Ximena finally joins him downstairs. Now, the night before, they had went out clubbing, and around 12 o'clock, Mike was exhausted, so he decided to go home. Ximena did not follow. She just sent him on his way, and she continued partying at the club. Mike felt kind of hurt because he was hoping to spend some alone time, but he went home by himself. And that was his first night there.
What time did you get home last night?
Llegué a las 9 de la mañana.
Why did you stay out so late? What did you do?
Yo me quedé porque quería quedarme todo el rato tomando más.
Did you spend time with any men or anyone?
Hombres. Hoy había muchos hombres. Pero antes no conmigo.
Now in Colombia, it's normal to get home really late, you know, around 9 or 10 o'clock, because after the club, they'll go and eat breakfast and then they'll go home. Mike explains to Ximena that he wasn't really happy that he was left alone, especially on his first night, and she reassures him that it's not going to happen again. Now, Ximena pretty much shut down and rest the conversation and said that her head hurts and she went back upstairs. Mike hopes that things will improve between them, because if not, he's not sure that the relationship is going to work. That's pretty much all with Mike and Ximena. It's gonna be interesting to see how things pan out. And if you're on social media a lot, you may have seen some things, but I'm not gonna spoil it for y'all. On to Kim and Usman, aka Soldier Boy. It's the next morning and tensions are still high from the big fight the night before. Despite the huge fight, Usman still decided to stay in Kimberly's room because he didn't want things to end until he got to know her better. They decide to head down to the beach and talk about things. Kimberly said that going down there, she didn't know about the sex thing or lack thereof, and also Usman not kissing her. She thinks that it's kind of selfish. I don't know if selfish is the right word to use. I don't think it's selfish. One shouldn't pressure somebody into sleeping with them. I mean, but at the same time, taking those gifts from her, I don't know. Usman said to Kimberly, well, do you think it's right that I should have sex with you and kiss you and we're not in a relationship? I mean, how is that going to look? And Kimberly said, well, that's part of a relationship, you know, getting to know each other. Usman said, well, are we in a relationship? And Kimberly was like, well, no, we're not. And Usman said, well, that's the point.
Listen, if we leave here and I'm not in a relationship with you, I'm done. Like, I'm dead serious, I'm done. I'll start dating at home. I'm not going to just be your friend. I'm just not going to do it.
So why are you changing?
Going to do it.
Why are you changing?
Because I love you, Usman. And I'm not going to sit here and beg some dude to have sex with me, beg some dude to kiss me, and then go home and not have any answers and just be your friend after all these weeks we've spent together here.
Usman said to Kimberly, so no more friendship, none of that. And Kimberly said, no, I'm done. Usman said that Kimberly is one of his best friends and they talk every day. So if that communication were to cease, it's going to hurt him because he really likes Kimberly. Usman said to Kimberly, why are you thinking so negatively? And Kimberly was like, well, look what happened last night, and also how he was talking about her son. Usman says that he would definitely respect her son, and he respects everyone.
You think yelling at me is being respectful? For you to tell me that you don't want to talk to him, that puts a big, big damper on this whole thing, because he's my son and I want him and you to have some kind of relationship. I'm not saying you have to be his best friend. I'm not saying you have to talk to him every day, but I really need you to talk to Jamal. But I need you to really either think about it. Really?
Okay. Yeah.
Usman said to Kimberly, what else? And Kimberly said, well, I want you. And Usman's like, well, you do have me. And she's like, no, I don't. Then he says to her, well, we're having sex tonight. And Kim was like, really? And she did a little happy dance. He doesn't want the sex thing to cause drama and be the end of them. Because if they're going to proceed with things, he wants to take it to the next step and wants them to work out.
We're having sex tonight. Part 1. African way.
What does that mean?
It's not like this. It's like...
Okay, Arm.
Telling you.
African way. I was shocked as hell when Usman said he was going to have sex with me tonight. So now I'm like all excited and nervous. And does this mean that after we have sex, that means I'm in a relationship with him? Is he testing out the goods before he buys the product? I don't know.
Prepare. And make sure that your bag is strong. Because we are spending it, be like, Mom.
Kimberly said, yay, she won. Well, we shall see tonight. And again, I don't feel that anybody should be pressured into doing something they don't want to do, regardless of their gender. But hey, that's just me. Later on, Kimberly decides to video chat with her son Jamal so that him and Usman can meet one another. This is a big deal for Kimberly because she doesn't really discuss her dating life with her son. Now they're on the video chat and introductions are being made. Listen, Jamal didn't waste no time because he knows how men are. So he doesn't really trust Usman because if things don't work out between his mother and Usman, he's gonna have to clean up the mess.
I understand you. But like, so many things, you know, like that I love about her, like, she is so loyal, like 100% loyalty to me. She doesn't care about my, like, whatever I will do with my business, like my concert, how I'll be around ladies. As far as I'm not in relationship with them, she's okay.
I'm fine.
It's not every lady understand that. Kimberly does.
Jamal said, well, that sounds like more someone that's an assistant and not somebody that's in a relationship. Usman said it's part of being supportive and it's not all about looks. It's how you can live together in peace. Usman said to Jamal that it's great that he looks out for his mother and he reassures him that he's not out to hurt Kimberly. Jamal said that because of the age difference, the relationship is not ideal, but hey, if his mom's happy, then he's happy too. It meant a lot to Kimberly that Usman was willing to talk to her son because it makes her feel that Usman is taking their relationship seriously. An hour later, they're getting ready for their steamy night session, and Kimberly is actually feeling quite nervous, which is surprising to me considering she's been hounding him pretty much daily for some yammy yammy.
This is the first time Kimberly is having sex in an African way. And I feel like I need to go easy for her. So like we do it half day. Because if we should do it in an African way completely, it's like a journey. You can go to US and come back to Zanzibar, we are still on it. I don't want her to be working too funny this morning. You know, like it will be like, I don't want that. I want her to work normally.
My man Usman, he was ready. He had his glasses on. He had his chain on. And he said to Kimberly, are you ready for me, Kimberly? He was ready to put it on her African style. Kimberly is like, you gotta take the chain off though. What was up with the chain and the glasses? Then Usman said to Kimberly, today is the day that you will be happy because they are now boyfriend and girlfriend. He couldn't have sex with her without making a decision first. Kimberly was like, wait, you never told me that. And he said, yeah, that's why I'm about to put it on you tonight. Kimberly wanted to know what made him decide to be boyfriend and girlfriend. He said he wanted to see how she'd be like in person and thinks that she is the one. She's loyal, supportive, patient, and shows him real love. So for those reasons, that's why he's making her his boo. Queen Kimberly. And that's pretty much all between Kimberly and Usman. I'm curious to know your thoughts. Do you think that Usman really cares for Kimberly, or do you think how others do in that he's just using her for a green card? Now, if you're a subscriber of mine, you know that usually it's gonna be Gino and Jasmine next, but they're so juicy I'm gonna save them for last. Up next is Memphis and Hamza. Today Memphis stayed home while Hamza and his mother went to the shop to pick out something to wear for the wedding. When Memphis spoke to Hamza about the prenup, it made him feel like she didn't trust him and was anticipating a breakup, which makes him worry.
مش حاجة مقلقتك مقتنع بها ولا؟
مش عليها حتى حاجة عيب فهمت أما شوية حاجات معناها حاجة ما تلبسيها تكبرها كهو معناها فهمت كيفاش؟ ما تاخذهاش بالطاقة كل واحد ما تاخذهاش بالسياسة تكبرها كل واحد.
Hamza's mother said to him, well, are you satisfied with that? A woman that's yelling at a man before marriage. What else will be next? Hamza goes on to explain to his mother that Memphis had made him sign a prenup. So if they were to get divorced, he would end up with nothing. His mother has some reservations about Memphis because it takes more than 2 or 3 months to get to know someone. And I do have to agree with her there because sometimes even when you do get married, you can be with someone for years and still find out things about them. Hamza clarifies to his mother what the papers mean because she didn't quite understand fully.
تصديق معناها ما تاخذ حتى شيء.
كيف عملت لك ورقة معناها مش مقتنعة بيك هي ولا شنو؟
اقتنعت قلت لها باهي.
شنو معناتها تقول باهي باهي؟
حتى هنا على مصلحتك.
علاش تقول باهي؟ ما تقولش باهي يا حمزة في الأمور هذيا فهمني عاش ولدي. هي الراجل والمرأة بين بيناتهم ثقة هكا ولا؟ هكا شنو
We all know that Hamza's mother had a bad experience in the past and is divorced, and she doesn't want the same thing to be happening to Hamza one day. Hamza said that he has learned from his parents' experience, so once he gets married, he's not going to get divorced. Hamza's mother said to him, you're handsome, young, have a diploma. Is this the woman that you want to spend the rest of your life with? It's not just for a couple of days, it's for life. Hamza said to his mother, why are you saying that? Do you want me to cancel? And she said, well, she's not saying to cancel, but just be sure this is what you want to do. And why hurry? Again, I agree with her. Since Memphis is home alone, she decides to have a conversation with her foster sister, Ingrid. She fills her in on the whole mess, you know, trying to get the paperwork and how they arrived to the city late. And she also told her that Hamza is actually 26 and not 28. And she even tells her about the prenup. Ingrid has some questions for her.
You're not hiding anything from him?
Only thing I didn't tell him is that, you know, when we were talking in the beginning, you know, I spent the night at my ex-husband's house. I didn't tell him that. I didn't think like it was really, you know, a need to know thing because nothing happened. We do not have no intimate sexual relations since I filed for divorce.
Ingrid said to Memphis that she needs to come clean to Hamza about spending the night with her ex-husband. Memphis does agree, especially since she wants Hamza to be honest with her, so it's only right that she does the same. Later on that day, Memphis says to Hamza that there's something that she wants to talk to him about that happened in the summer. Hamza said, no, you listen, and had some things to say to Memphis.
I think you and I hastened the marriage decision.
You understand?
What? Why? No. You think we shouldn't get married on this trip?
لا يجب أن نتزوج في هذه الرحلة.
All I can say is damn. Do y'all think they should be getting married? I don't. At least not right now. I feel that they should be taking the time to get to know one another a lot better, especially since she's had issues with past relationships. That's pretty much all between Memphis and Hamza. I cannot wait to see what happens next episode. The moment you've been waiting for, on to Gino and Jasmine. Jasmine is still in shock and never thought that Gino would send naked pictures of her to his ex. And what makes it worse is that his attitude towards it once she discovered this. She's feeling miserable about this all and doesn't want to be around Gino, so she's packing up her things and she's moving to another room so that she can be away from him. Jasmine just wants to get away from the island and wants to go back home the next day. She wants to erase Gino and the nightmare from her memory. Jasmine is still trying to process how could she have been so wrong about Gino from the beginning.
I know it was so good to be true. And I was wondering why he's 52 and he's by himself. And I do believe he's still in love with his ex. Because I sent him nudes. And he said like, oh, perfect. I'm gonna make my ex-girlfriend be jealous. But that's not fair because it was for him, you know.
Jasmine said that Gino was pretending to be sweet, hardworking, a good person. She really fell in love with a man that's not even real. The person was just a figment of her imagination. She got to know the real Gino today. Now Gino is in the room sulking and realizing that he should have never done what he did. Well, no kidding, Gino.
I can't defend what I did. But I wish Jasmine could understand that I would never deliberately hurt her. Because I love Jasmine more than I ever thought I could love a woman. I know that if I lose Jasmine like this, I would never find love like this again.
Later on, Jasmine decided to talk to her friend Linda, who she had messaged earlier on to tell her what happened. Jasmine is trying to remain chill, but it's extremely difficult for her to do so, especially, you know, she's a hothead. She goes on to tell Linda that she never wants to see Gino again, and she doesn't understand why he would send the nudes. Now, Linda figures that it was to make the ex jealous. And Jasmine just popped off and said that Gino is dead to her, and she's going to make a big stink about this all. She stormed off to the room, and her friend is like, chill, don't be bitter. But Jasmine is upset because this is her reputation he's messing with. Back in the room, Jasmine confronts Gino. She said to him, I'ma sue you for sending the nudes. Gino had the nerve to say those weren't nudes. Jasmine is like, yo, I was showing my tatas.
Yeah, your breasts are showing. That's correct, but they're not nudes.
So take off your hat. Those are nudes.
Well, if you can't talk peacefully, then you can.
Peacefully!
Y'all, did you see how he whipped out the reserve hat? Jasmine said, why the F did you send her my nudes? And screamed, that was part of my privacy. How could you do that? How? She was losing her mind. And you know what? Rightfully so. Now, people online like to say, well, she's parading around practically naked, but that's besides the point. When you're sending somebody something that's private, they have no right to go and spread it around to others. That's something that you sent privately. And that's, to be honest, a reason why I'm not into that, because you never know what's gonna happen. It is a risk when you send pictures like that, unfortunately, because there are some douchebags out there. Gino said that he made a mistake sending those nudes, but he can't take it back.
You know how I feel. You wanna know how I feel? You trash. Stupid old man. Speak. Speak. Have the balls to say something.
Again, Gino said that he sent the nudes to rub it in the ex's face. Jasmine said to him, is that what I mean to you? Like I'm a piece of meat? And Gino said no. Oh my goodness. Then Jasmine said to Gino that she's going to publish the pics of his little Vienna sausage. He said, well, hey, if that's what you want to do, send the pics to your ex.
No, there's nothing to brag about. My pictures were hot. You're depressing.
Whoopee.
You're not a man. I don't want to see you anymore.
That's your choice.
My choice.
Yeah.
You were my choice. I made a mistake.
He's got a little bit of a mouth there for somebody that did something wrong. At this point, producers had to step in because Jasmine was launching for his ass. And they were like, you gotta go, Jasmine. You gots to go. And Gino was just standing there. He didn't want none of the heat that Jasmine was bringing. The next day, Jasmine had to go back to the room, even though she wanted to leave, but she had left her purse there and she couldn't leave the island without it. Gino wanted to talk to her before she left.
I just want to apologize to you that, you know, for what I did. That was just really stupid. I know I've caused a lot of pain, and I'm really devastated about, you know, about all this.
Gino continued to apologize to Jasmine, as he should. Jasmine explained that after yesterday, she doesn't know the real Gino. He reassured her that it won't happen again and he will not communicate with his ex anymore. And Jasmine said to him, why should I give you that chance? Gino said, well, he loves her very much and his intentions are long-term. He cares about her and only her. She's perfect for him and he doesn't want to lose her.
At the end of the story, you know, I want what most people want, just to be loved. And I love you. You know that I do, you know. You know that I do. I love you, Lord.
I love you too. Very much.
Gino said that he's so happy to have her in his life again because he was worried that he'd lose her. Jasmine is still hurt and it's going to take time to heal from all of this. She said that it's hard to find love and she found it in Gino and she doesn't want to lose that. Well, Jasmine, you're a good woman because I don't know if I could go back to somebody that did that to me, or at least go back so quickly to that person. Tell me how you feel about that. That's pretty much all between Gino and Jasmine. That concludes my recap. I really enjoyed this episode. It was really explosive with Gino and Jasmine. Oh my goodness. I can't wait to see next episode to see how things go between them after all that. I'm also curious to see if Hamza is going to change his mind on getting married to Memphis. Although I've been seeing some things online. You probably have too. Drop your thoughts on the episode. I'd like to read your comments and hopefully pin one of them. Hope you enjoyed my detailed recap. Thanks for watching, my beautiful peeps, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye!